we back. Now, it's been a minute since we did one of these NBA chain reaction quizzes, so I think that today is going to be the day. The way this works is question 1 relates to question 2, number 2 to question 3, 3 to 4, and so on and so forth. This one has 100 questions. But the big thing about it is, once we get one wrong, we have to start all the way over from the beginning. So if we're on question 99 and we mess up, well, we got to redo the whole thing, all right? So it should be a lot of fun. Let's get right into it. Evan created this quiz. It was created for me specifically, so thank you, Evan. But it only has 100 plays, and nobody has voted on it. So I don't know if it's good or bad. And the bot only got 6 out of 100. So the bot got 6 right before it got 1 wrong. And that is a huge tell that this may be a tough one, so that's why we getting into it. Only 10 minutes for 100 questions, which I don't love because I can't really talk my trash. But regardless, let's get it. Click the NBA to start. Boom. Whose commissioner is Adam Silver? How many years has he been the head commissioner? Okay, so I remember his first year as full commissioner. That's when the whole Donald Sterling thing went on with the Clippers, and I'm pretty sure that was 2014. So that's 1 season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons, 4 seasons, 4.5 seasons. Adam Silver has been the full commissioner of the NBA. Cool. Which is how many rings this Hall of Fame center has. So we got to figure out which center on this list, Hall of Fame center, already retired center, has 4 rings. Obviously, it's not Bill Russell. Shaq. He's the only other retired center on this list. So Shaq has 4 rings. Who ended his career with the Boston Celtics, who have 17 championships, which is the number of this player. So I got to find someone that wears the number 17. It's actually a pretty decently common number in the NBA. Jeremy Lin has been wearing it for a long time. Who drafted this player in 1986, who died on draft night from a cocaine addiction, also an overdose. Real grim spot of this quiz, but that will be Len Bias. May he also rest in peace. Who was drafted with the 2nd pick, which is the number this player wears. Okay, also a pretty common number in the NBA. So we got to figure out which player on this list wears the number 2. Goran Dragic. Booyah. Who was drafted by the, I know this, all right? I think it was during the All-Star game they were talking about Goran Dragic, and he was drafted by the Spurs, then traded on draft night to the Suns, because y'all know the Spurs are just notorious for drafting well overseas, so it would be the San Antonio. I'm like 90% sure it's the San Antonio Spurs. So here we are, Goran Dragic's page, his wiki page. And as you can see, in 2008, he was drafted by the San Antonio Spurs. And he was traded on draft night for Malik Harrison, who was a name. I don't even know that name. So I'm right. The quiz is wrong. See, now I got to redo all of those questions, even though I was right. So I'm guessing he's got the answer as the Phoenix Suns because that was the first team he played for, but that wasn't the team that actually drafted him. Okay, so we're back at the Goran Dragic question, and I'm guessing the answer for him is going to be Phoenix Suns. All right, who drafted this person in 2017? That would be Josh Jackson. Who went to school, to what school? He went to Kansas, where he played alongside this NBA player. So we're looking for a player that was also from that draft class, or maybe the draft class after, because he could have stayed an extra year. So from Kansas, Frank Mason III makes sense. So I'm gonna go Frank Mason III. Who plays for what team? There's of course the San Antonio. Nope, the Sacramento Kings, not the Spurs. The Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings are on this list 3 times, which means that we're gonna come back to the Kings questions a lot. But here's one with Frank Mason III. Who have how many championships? They have 1, and I think that was in the early 50s, which is the number this NBA player wore in Chicago. Now, there's only been one number 1 in Chicago, and that was Derrick Rose. Do y'all remember when Michael Carter Williams tried to wear the number 1, and then the Bulls fans were like, slow your roll. That number is basically retired, even though it's not retired. And we just traded for Michael Carter Williams again today, and then we released him, which, good idea. All right, but Derrick Rose, who plays for which team? Who now plays for which team? That'll be the Minnesota Timberwolves. Boom. Which is the same country this player's from. So we're looking for another Croatian NBA player. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I always get those foreign countries mixed up. So hopefully I can get this one right. Like Jakob Poeltl, I think he's from Austria. So it's not him. Igor is obviously a coach. Mario Hezonja is the only other person on this list that makes sense. So I'm going to go Mario Hezonja because I'm pretty sure Mo Wagner's German. I'm going to go Mario. Boom. Who plays for what team? That'll be, of course, the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks. There is no N for New York Knicks. The K's don't have New York Knicks. Mario Hezonja plays for the New York Knicks. Unless I got the question. Can I go back to see? No, I can't go back. We were talking about Mario Hezonja, who plays for the New York Knicks. I don't know. There's no... Unless this quiz... Well, this quiz can be old because they got stuff like Jimmy Butler. What happened this season? But the last team Mario Hezonja played for was the Orlando Magic. So my only guess is that the person that created this quiz didn't know that Mario Hezonja doesn't play for the Magic anymore, even though it's been like a half a season. I'm going to go Orlando Magic. Wow. Evan, who created this quiz, you got a proofread, but brother. That's two. That's two of them. Whose coach is Steve Clifford. See, so he didn't know. Never mind. We going to just look past that. Two mistakes. I got him though. Who coaches this dunk contest snub? They talk about Aaron Gordon, who lost the dunk contest to who? Of course, Zach LaVine. Shout out to my boy, who now plays for the Chicago Bulls, whose coach is Jim Boylen, unfortunately. Who was the assistant coach of what team in 2014? It is the Spurs. You know how I know it's the Spurs? Because he won't stop talking about the fact that he coached behind Pop. San Antonio Spurs, man. Okay, Evan. That's three. I mean, I could be mistaken. We're going to fact check it. But I think that's the third mistake you'd have made in this quiz. But let me make sure I'm right here. 2014, he was coaching with San Antonio. They won a championship that year. I don't understand. Unless he's thinking about, there's another Jim Boylen that coaches in the NBA, an assistant for the Cavs. So maybe he's got his Jim Boylens mixed up. So I'm going to get back to the point we were. We're going to guess Cavs. And I just feel like he got it mixed up, which was a common thing to happen. Okay. So again, I guess that he got his Jim Boylens mixed up. So we're going to hit Cleveland Cavaliers because that's what the other Jim Boylen coached on. So what is he saying? What is he saying then? I'm so confused. I am so confused. And for some reason, he's got the Kings as the right answer, even though Jim Boylen never coached the Kings. At least it never was an assistant on the Kings. So I don't even know how that's the right answer here. I'm going to keep it going, though. Who traded DeMarcus Cousins and for who in 2016? That would be, of course, Buddy Hield. Who went to which college? Oklahoma. Which have brought how many current players to the league? So, of course, Buddy Hield, Trae Young, Blake Griffin. Just three. Including this rookie, like we said, Trae Young, who played with this former Sun center. Who plays, oh, that's Alex Len. Okay, Alex Len plays for them right now. Who was drafted in 2013 with the 5th pick, which is the same pick this player was drafted in 1979. I don't know anything about the 1979 draft class, but what I'm going to do, all these players, which one of these players seem like they could have been drafted in the late 70s? Obviously not Bill Russell. None of these other players make sense except for Sidney Moncrief down here. Boom. So LeBron caused a player to leave the team in 2014. I mean, that's when they made the trade for Wiggins, but Andrew Wiggins is not on this list. So we're looking for another player from that team that was traded or released. Dion Waiters? The only guy on this list that makes sense is Dion Waiters, so I'm going to go with it. All right. Who now plays for the Miami Heat, whose starting small forward is Justice Winslow, even though he is a small forward, but he's also the point guard, Justice Winslow, who was drafted what pick? 10th. Okay. That, if I would have got that wrong 50 questions in, I would have kind of been upset, but all right. Which is worn by this player. So the number 10 is worn by who? DeMar DeRozan, comp 10. Boom. who was shockingly traded to which team in this offseason? He was, of course, traded to the San Antonio Spurs. Who traded this player to the Raptors? Kawhi Leonard is not on this list, so it has to be Danny Green. Who got in return Jakob Poeltl, who is from which country? Austria. And I'm pretty sure he's the only Austrian, am I saying that right? Austrian-born NBA player ever. Like the first. He's the first ever. Just like this extinct team's amount of rings. So we're looking for a team that's no longer in the league. Could it be the Royals? Because like I said earlier in the video, the Kings have one ring. And that was when they were named the Royals back in the day, right? In the 50s. Rochester Royals, who are now the Kings. Did we just go full circle there? I think we went full circle there. Who just drafted this power forward? That'll be, of course, Marvin Bagley III, who was drafted one position after this player. Boom. Who went to what college? DeAndre Ayton went to Arizona. Who also brought this present coach to the NBA in 1988. So a coach that played for Arizona and then was drafted in 88. That is, of course, Steve Kerr. Played his first year in Phoenix. But I don't know if he was drafted by Phoenix. I know he played his first season with Phoenix and they traded him away after that first season. I'm just going with it. If I get it wrong, I'll just have to redo 68 questions. Cool. Who now are coached by who? Of course, Igor Kokoslav. I be butchering those names. I'm sorry, y'all. Who was the assistant coach of what team last year? The Utah Jazz. Who drafted this superstar last year in 2017? I would slow my roll on the superstar talk. Donovan Mitchell's very, very good, but he's not a superstar. Not yet. Not in year 2. In year 2, he is not a superstar. He's very good. We got to slow our roll on the superstar talk, though. Who was drafted? What pick? Of course, number 13, notorious for a lot of different things. A lot of good players were drafted 13. My favorite number, the number that's tattooed on my chest. Just like this player. So we're looking for another player that was drafted 13th overall. Anthony Davis, of course, was drafted 1st. Brook Lopez was drafted 10th. Duncan Robinson was in the 2nd round. JaVale McGee, I don't remember, but he wasn't 13th. LeBron 1st. Markelle Fultz. Malcolm Brogdon in the 2nd round. OG Anunoby, not 13th. I think he may have been 10th as well. Thomas Bryant, Thon Maker was 10th. None of these players were drafted 13th overall. I just don't know. I'm wasting time here. What I can do is go to the next question. Who is paired up with this player from Australia? Okay, so whatever the answer to this question is, ties to a player that plays with somebody from Australia. The only Australian person on this list is Thon Maker. So we're thinking about a player. You see how much I gotta do because this question is wrong? We're thinking about a player that plays alongside Thon Maker that this guy I think was drafted 13th. So we're looking for somebody on the Bucks. I'm gonna go Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon was drafted in the 2nd round, 25th or 26th or something like that. Who was paired up with this player from Australia, Thon Maker, who is a backup to Brook Lopez, who played for what team last year? Of course, the LA Lakers, who just previously drafted Mo Wagner, who went to Michigan, who played alongside Duncan Robinson, who is on which NBA team? You know, I'm speeding it up because I only got a minute left. The Miami Heat, who had which MVP? Of course, LeBron, who has 3 rings, which is the number of this sophomore player. So OG Anunoby, who went to Towhead College? To what college, maybe? Indiana, where he played alongside which player? Which player did he play with at Indiana? Thomas Bryant, who is on which team? The Washington Wizards, who is now coached by Scott Brooks, who started his playing career for who? Only one team left, the 76ers. Who drafted who first overall? Markelle Fultz, who went to Washington, which is in what basketball league? The NCAA. What team has the top 3 projected NBA players this next year? That'd be the Blue Devils, who are led by this stretch forward. Are we calling Zion Williamson a stretch forward? I don't think so. And Canadian RJ Barrett, who is 18 years old, which is the number of this player. Neither of Anthony Davis or JaVale McGee wears the number 18. JaVale McGee wears 7, and Anthony Davis wears... I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I got 100%, y'all, because the quiz was inadequate. I can't believe that. 18? So he's trying to tell me Anthony Davis wears a number 18? Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a like. Evan, thank you for creating the quiz. You know, got to work on it just a little bit, but I appreciate you sending it my way. This has been Kenny. I got to cool off a little bit because that one just got me.